Today, Dong Fu invites you to delve deeper into the Dhammapada, the 20th verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in USA. In this verse, the Buddha teaches us a beautiful and vital truth. It is not the quantity of what we recite or know that leads to liberation. Instead, it is the quality of our understanding and practice. Even if one recites little of the sacred texts, but acts in accordance with the teachings, forsaking lust, hatred, and ignorance, with a mind well freed, clinging to nothing here and hereafter, that person shares the fruits of the holy life. This teaching reminds us to look deeply into the heart of practice. We often think that knowledge alone will carry us forward. But without true transformation of the mind, knowledge remains mere words. What is the essence of this transformation? It is the abandoning of the three poisons: lust, hatred, and ignorance. These are the roots of all suffering. Lust is craving, desire, attachment. It creates endless searching and dissatisfaction because it clings to impermanent things. Hatred is aversion and anger. It burns the heart and poisons our peace. Ignorance is the fundamental misunderstanding of reality. It clouds wisdom and keeps beings trapped in samsara. The Buddha calls us to forsake these poisons with mindfulness and wisdom. Through careful observation of our mind and actions, we begin to see how these poisons arise and how we can let them go. When lust, hatred, and ignorance are abandoned, the mind becomes calm, clear, and free. This is the meaning of having a mind well freed. To cling to nothing here and hereafter means to let go of attachment to all phenomena in this life and any imagined future life. It is the practice of non-attachment or letting go. Many beings cling not only to this present life's joys and sorrows, but also to ideas about rebirth, heaven, or hell. Even such attachments prevent true liberation. True freedom arises when the mind rests without grasping. This is the core of the holy life. It is a life of freedom from suffering, confusion, and bondage. One might think that the scriptures themselves contain the key. While the Buddha's teachings are precious guides, they're only useful if lived and embodied. Reciting many texts without practice is like counting cows for someone else, as the verse compares. A cowherd who merely counts cows but does not own them gains no benefit. Similarly, one who only recites the Dharma without practicing gains no share in the fruits of the holy life. This analogy invites us to reflect on how we relate to the teachings. Are we just intellectual students or true practitioners? The holy life is one of direct experience. It is a living path of awakening. We learn from the Buddha's example and words. But we must also cultivate the mind that sees clearly and acts accordingly. This means observing our mind moment by moment, seeing where desire arises, where anger flares, where confusion hides. With gentle attention, we do not judge or suppress these states but understand their nature and causes. Through this understanding, the grip of lust, hatred, and ignorance loosens. The mind naturally becomes peaceful and free. This freedom is the fruit of the holy life. To practice like this is to share fully in the blessing of the Dharma. As we walk this path, it is important to cultivate not only wisdom but also compassion. When we free ourselves from the poisons, our heart opens to all beings. We see that all suffer because of craving, anger, and ignorance. With this insight, we naturally wish to help others find freedom. This compassion is inseparable from wisdom. Together, they are the twin wings that lift us beyond suffering. In daily life, the practice is simple but profound. Each time we notice a feeling of craving or anger, we pause. We breathe, we observe, we let go. We remind ourselves that all things arise and pass. There is nothing permanent to hold on to. This awareness gently loosens our attachments. Over time, this becomes a natural way of being. We no longer need to chase desires or harbor resentment. The mind settles into calm clarity. This is the sacred fruit of the holy life. Furthermore, the verse teaches that clinging to not here and hereafter is essential. Even good things, pleasant thoughts, or hopes for future happiness can become forms of attachment. True liberation requires letting go of all grasping. This includes letting go of self-view, identity, and all fixed ideas. When the mind is free from all clinging, it is vast and open like the sky. It is not disturbed by passing clouds of pleasure or pain. This is the peace that the Buddha calls nirvana. A mind at peace benefits not only itself but all beings. Because such a mind acts with kindness and wisdom, it plants seeds of harmony wherever it goes. Returning to the metaphor of counting cows, the one who simply counts another's herd is not transformed. But the one who tends to their own heart with care and diligence reaps the harvest of liberation. This reminds us that the Dharma is not a theoretical subject, but a practical path. It asks for our commitment to living wisely. Even small steps in this direction bring great benefit. It is better to live the teachings a little than to know many words without practice. This truth is found repeatedly in the Buddha's teachings. The quality of practice, sincerity, and letting go matters most. May we all be inspired by this verse to cultivate a mind free from lust, hatred, and ignorance. May we let go of all clinging here and hereafter. May we act in accordance with the Dharma with kindness and wisdom. In doing so, we share fully in the fruits of the holy life. Let us now reflect on how this teaching applies in our own lives. How often do we find ourselves caught in desire, reaching for things that bring temporary happiness but ultimately cause dissatisfaction? How often do we feel anger or aversion, wishing harm on those who upset us or cause us pain? And how often are we unaware of these mental states until they control our actions? Mindfulness is the key to breaking this cycle. By gently observing our mind, we see clearly the arising and passing of thoughts and feelings. We recognize craving and aversion as causes of suffering, and we begin to choose differently. This awareness leads to gradual transformation. It may be helpful to cultivate daily meditation, where we practice watching the breath or sensations. This anchors the mind in the present moment. From this stillness, wisdom arises. We see the impermanent nature of all phenomena. We see that craving and aversion only create more suffering. With this insight, letting go becomes natural. In addition to meditation, we cultivate right action by living ethically. We practice kindness, generosity, patience, and truthfulness. These virtues support the mind's freedom. They purify our intentions and relationships. We learn that the holy life is not separate from daily living. Each moment is an opportunity to practice, to choose freedom over bondage, to choose peace over turmoil, to choose love over hatred. The path may not always be easy, but it is deeply rewarding. Each step brings greater clarity and joy. The obstacles we meet are also teachers. When desire arises, we practice renunciation. When anger arises, we practice patience. When confusion arises, we seek wisdom. With perseverance, we progress toward liberation. Remember that even small efforts in mindfulness and letting go are significant. The Buddha's path is gradual, suited to our individual capacities. No matter where we start, sincere practice leads us home. The holy life is the life of awakening. It is a life lived with wisdom, compassion, and freedom. May this teaching inspire us to live fully in the present moment, to cultivate a heart free from poisons, to embody the Dharma in thought, word, Indeed, as we conclude, let us dedicate the merit of this practice. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find peace and joy. May all beings attain perfect enlightenment. Let us now take a moment to explore more deeply the qualities of the holy life that the Buddha describes in this verse. When the Buddha speaks of one who recites little but acts rightly, what does acting rightly truly mean? It means embodying the teachings with sincerity and mindfulness, not merely knowing them as concepts, but allowing them to transform how we live, how we relate, and how we see ourselves and the world. This distinction is crucial because many people may memorize or recite scriptures yet remain unaware of their true meaning. The holy life demands a living experience. It requires that we walk the path, step by step, turning understanding into action. One key aspect is forsaking lust. Lust is more than just sensual desire. It is any form of craving, clinging, or grasping to experiences, objects, or even identities that promise happiness but ultimately cannot satisfy. The Buddha invites us to look honestly at how our minds chase after pleasure, approval, status, or material wealth. These pursuits, while natural when unexamined, trap us in endless cycles of want and dissatisfaction. When we observe with mindfulness, we begin to see that lust arises and falls away like waves on the ocean. We no longer need to be pulled under by their force. Instead, we learn to ride the waves with balance and calm. Similarly, the Buddha calls us to forsake hatred. Hatred is the fire of anger, resentment, and aversion. It disturbs the heart and clouds wisdom. Anger may feel powerful, but it consumes our peace and damages relationships. Practicing the holy life means transforming anger through compassion and patience. We can remember that those who cause harm often act out of their own suffering. This understanding softens the heart and diminishes hostility. Through meditation and reflection, we cultivate loving kindness, allowing anger to be replaced by peace. The third poison to forsake is ignorance. Ignorance is the root of all suffering because it keeps us blind to the true nature of reality. It is the failure to see impermanence, interdependence, and the emptiness of inherent self. This blindness causes us to grasp at illusions and misunderstand our own mind. By practicing with wisdom and insight, we gradually remove this veil of ignorance. We see clearly how all things arise and pass. This insight frees us from delusions and attachments. The verse also speaks about the importance of the mind being well freed. A freed mind is not bound by desires, aversions, or confusion. It rests in the clarity of present moment awareness, serene and unobstructed. This freedom is not a distant goal, but a living reality accessible here and now. When the mind is free, it experiences peace beyond ordinary understanding. This peace is not dependent on external conditions. Whether in pleasure or pain, wealth or poverty, praise or blame, the free mind remains steady. The verse emphasizes clinging to not here and hereafter. This teaching goes beyond renouncing the physical world alone. It calls for releasing all mental attachments, including the desire for future existence or non-existence. The clinging to ideas about self, about eternal life, or annihilation keeps the mind entangled. True liberation is complete freedom from all grasping. This is the hallmark of the holy life. Practically, this means cultivating detachment without indifference. Detachment here is a wise letting go, not a cold disconnection. It is the ability to experience the world fully and openly, without craving or aversion. As we practice, we may find moments when the mind clings tightly to pleasant thoughts or fears the unknown. Gently bringing awareness to these moments and resting in the freedom beyond grasping is the path of the awakened. The Buddha's metaphor of the cowherd counting others' kind reminds us not to become mere collectors of knowledge or traditions without personal transformation. It is easy to get caught in religious formalism, rituals, chanting, memorizing texts, without real change in the heart. The holy life invites us to embody the teachings deeply. It is about the quality of our presence, kindness, and clarity. It is about walking the path of awakening daily. In this way, the fruits of the holy life become evident. We experience joy that is not dependent on circumstances. We cultivate compassion that naturally arises from seeing the interconnectedness of all beings. We also cultivate equanimity, the ability to remain balanced amidst life's ups and downs. It is important to remember that the Buddha's path is gradual and patient. Transformation may not happen overnight, but each moment of mindful awareness, each choice to let go, each act of kindness contributes to our awakening. Even when we stumble, we have the opportunity to begin again with fresh intention. May we remember that the Buddha's teachings are a lamp for our feet, a guide through the darkness of ignorance and suffering. By practicing sincerely, we light the path for ourselves and others. In the busy rhythms of daily life, we can pause often to reconnect with this inner light. Whether at work, with family, or alone in meditation, each moment is precious. May we carry the spirit of this verse with us always. May we recite little, but act fully. May we forsake lust, hatred, and ignorance with courage. May our minds be well freed. May we cling to not here or hereafter. May we share fully in the fruits of the holy life. This path is open to all, regardless of age, background, or circumstance. The Buddha's wisdom is timeless and universal. Let us walk together with hearts open and steady steps. In this practice, may we find peace and liberation. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings awaken to their true nature. May all beings attain perfect enlightenment. Thank you for watching my video. Namo Amitabha. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel to review the short sermons of the Buddha. Thank you for listening to the Dharma.